Hi guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast, episode 78, and we are back to the original duo. Thank you though to Josh for standing in a couple of weeks in the past few episodes Josh has been on. But Reece is back, and to be fair, we've not really spoken since we went to Liverpool. We need to talk about Liverpool antics, mate, as well.
Yeah, we do.
So Reece is back from Canada. We're going to catch up on the weekend that we had in Liverpool for his birthday. We're going to catch up on Reece's trip to Canada. Reece has just started prep as well, so we'll catch up on that. So yeah, this is not just everybody listening. This is me as well, because we haven't spoken properly for a while. So
We don't speak, do we?
so talk to me, mate. Where have you been? How have you been?
I'm sound too fair, mate. Life is good. Prep began yesterday. I don't really like doing the whole, you just kind of fill in because it's hard for me to say this is what we've done, this is what we've done, this is what I'm doing now.
We'll just catch up because we
Yeah,
need to catch up on stuff anyway.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, prep began yesterday. It's weird because I felt like prep had begun at the start of the year. Like obviously, when I was in Canada, I wasn't sticking to a meal plan, but I'm very structured. Like I don't eat shit. There was a few meals that I was like, oh yeah, I'll have
Sure, mate.
something a
It's
bit
not what I
different.
saw in Liverpool.
Yeah, true, to be fair, mate. Yeah, definitely. But in all seriousness, steps were like 20K per day. My feet, I've had to wear sliders for the last 3 days because my feet are ruined. Like they are so badly battered. I was clocking up like 20 to 25K steps a day. I was training over there for the first week. And to be fair, like it was a bit of a weird sort of trip. I absolutely loved it but it wasn't like a normal holiday. Like, when you go away and you got the pool and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff because my routine was legitimately the exact same. The only difference is in the afternoon, if I wasn't training, we'd go out and do something in Toronto, or if we were training, we'd go to a cool gym. Like that was really it. So it was where we were working in the mornings. I was a bit more time efficient. Like I did check-ins on voice notes. I did a few on Loom and stuff like that. But it just you were walking everywhere. So if I had a 15-minute walk, I'd be like, cool, I'll just do a check-in on that walk. So I was being a bit more time efficient. So I really felt like it was a nice break because I didn't fall out of sync. So when I came back, let's say 2 days ago, I wasn't like, oh my God, I've got to kind of restructure myself. My structure is the exact same. The only difference is the time. Like I've got up a little bit later the last few days because I'm a little bit behind on time because I'm like used to it being 5 hours behind. But other than that, it was a really nice time. We chilled out, we got up to some good stuff. But like I said, I felt like I started prep at the start of the year because I was conscious of food. I was literally having like 3 to 4 meals a day that were relatively clean. If in the evening, if there was some food that we're going to get that was a bit different, then maybe so. But I came back 4 kilos down, which to be fair was a little bit more than anticipated. I couldn't find scales or anything. I could have body weight scales because I wanted to at least be able to track my weight so I'm not coming back like either really a lot lesser or potentially more. But I knew that I was going to be dropping weight anyway. And then yeah, prep started yesterday, day before. Like I came back at like midday on Friday. So I'd ate to my usual meals, but it was a bit of a like obviously when you can't really start a prep when you're getting in at like midday and you've not ate and I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna have to eat a whole day's worth of calories when I've only got like a 9 hour window till I go to bed. So yeah, that was all good. That's it really. What do you want to talk about Liverpool, mate? We'll kind of go through the
No, we
things that
can we
happened
can
in
go
Canada.
through Canada a bit more first, and then we'll go through
Okay.
Liverpool. So talk us through
Sam,
it.
ask me
Like,
some questions, mate.
what did you do? Like, obviously, in from what I know about Canada, there's a few things. Like, obviously, Niagara Falls is like one of the main things that people go to, and then that tower that you went up. But I don't know
Yeah.
if there's other things. Like, I don't know what the sort of
It's like
generic
it's
sightseeing
weird
things
because
are. I say
yeah, it's
generic,
weird.
but like they're things that you'd want to go and see.
Yeah, there's not really anything that you're like, oh, you go for this. It's
No,
very much
I think
like
Niagara
England.
Falls is like I
Yeah,
think a lot of
Niagara
people will
Falls.
go there to go and
Yeah.
see that. That looked
Yeah,
cool.
and mate, it was the weirdest experience ever, if I'm honest. Like, if I was to say to you, right, what do you reckon Niagara Falls is like? Like, do you think it's going to be like you pay? So imagine like Holton Towers, you pay and you go through somewhere and they take you to it. Would you imagine it's something like that? Like,
I feel like I'd imagine it's like you just drive to it and it's there and people just taking photos.
yeah, it's so I thought, well, I said where it was like you go to a certain place, you pay until
I'm
they let you.
surprised they've not done that yet because it's a
Yeah,
way of making more money.
I thought it'd be
Yeah.
monetized, but literally, it was we hired a car and it was like an hour and a half, and I
What
think a
car was it
2 hour
that you got?
drive. A Hyundai, it was like a mate. It wasn't that bad, but it was like an automatic, like saloon Hyundai that was like
Wow.
it was sound. It was a good ride. It was like 300. for 3 days. So what, $100 a day? And if I was 25, it would have been like $150. It was because I was under
Yeah, it's
25. So
always like that, isn't it?
yeah, significant price on it.
Sometimes they won't
Yeah,
even let you get one.
yeah, I know. I thought that, and especially because I'm not from obviously over there. But yeah, so we hired a car, and because we saw these bus like tour things that you can take from Toronto, and I said to Sanaa like it was cheaper, but I was like, I don't want to go with other people. I don't want to be at the fucking bus venue for this time. I don't
I
want to then
never do. Me and
stay
Shannon
there. Yeah,
always do stuff ourselves. Like,
yeah. Like, why
I'd
would you
rather
go
pay
with other
more and
people?
just be
Yeah.
able to do it on your own accord.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know how because they were like these whole day trips where you get lunch there as well. Genuinely, you're there for like half an hour tops. Like that's it. So pretty much we drove to the actual gym that we are training at, that Pure Muscle and Fitness. By the way, mate, like I know I sent you a voice. This is actually what me and Finn spoke about. The gym was fucking stupidly good.
Sounded like a
So
salesman. Sent
I
me a
know.
voice note, and I was like, I thought at the end he was going to go. So it's only this much a month, and I've paid for your accommodation, so come over.
Mate, it was no, honestly, like for me to be like that about a gym, I felt like how people look when they probably go to Rotherham for the first time and they're like, oh my God, it's the best gym in the world. And me and you were just there like, it's really not that good.
It
It's
was
just,
dead, when I trained with Matt there.
oh, really?
But we're training earlier, aren't we? So I thought that
Yeah.
it did get a little bit busier later on, but it was
Yeah.
really quiet.
But either way, when it came to actually training there, yeah, gym was class, getting a little bit on a tangent. But yeah, we trained at Pure Muscle and Fitness. We trained there on Saturday. I was going to be deloading from Saturday to Saturday. But we trained there on Saturday. And I was like, when I was on the treadmills, I said to Sanaya, we've got to train here tomorrow. And it kind of was on the way to Niagara Falls. It really wasn't, but it was like a little bit of a detour. But you know, when it like adds like half an hour and
Yeah.
you're already kind of driving there, we were like, yeah, sound. So
How
we
far
trained
was
there
how far was the drive to Niagara Falls?
2 hours. But it was like 2 hours 20 going to the gym because it kind of like, but the
Yeah.
gym was like a 40-minute drive. So it was kind of on the way. So we trained there. We then went to Niagara Falls and literally we parked up. Oh, this is actually quite funny. We got a Tim Hortons post workout and genuinely, mate, the most scatty place. There was like 3 prostitutes outside. There was a woman in
Lovely.
the Tim Hortons drawing with like a toy dog on her head. Like on her head, she had a toy dog, and she just had it on her head, and she was drawing, and there were like people without teeth in there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it was, oh mate,
Isn't
we
it
got
like, I think Tim Hortons, is that where you can get coffee for £1 or something? It's like
yeah,
Mackey's kind of over here.
coffee, mate. There is honestly more to every one, and this I'm making this up, but this is how it felt. Every one like convenience food or fast food venue, there was 2 Tim Hortons. So
Yeah.
it was like there's legitimately like a Tim Hortons at every single corner. It was stupid how many there were. Like you'd see one and then you'd see another and you'd like think, is that the one that I've just seen? Like
Yeah.
it was silly how
There's
many there
some
were.
in there in England. There's not
Yeah,
many, but there's some.
there's a few, but it wasn't very good. It was literally because it was post workout
What
and
did
we
you
were like,
get?
right, we need some food. I got 2 chicken wraps.
Is it
And
like is it like Mackey's?
yeah, it's a little bit cleaner than like McDonald's. I find a bit greasy. It's similar to McDonald's, but it's more of a cafe sort of fast food hybrid that just does coffees and hot chocolates. Sanaya must have drank like a hot chocolate a day from them. Apparently they were really good. I don't really like hot chocolate, so yeah. But we went there, scattiest place ever, because we're literally like looking at the map, saying Niagara Falls is a minute away, and we're like, right, we need food, so we'll get something for there. We've seen like 3 prostitutes, a girl with a dog on her head drawing, and I'm like, right, what the fuck is this place? So we got our food, got straight in the car and drove. We then end up getting to where like Niagara Falls is as a car park, and we end up getting out the car, and it's literally like there's like a shit like Las Vegas, like there's like casinos. So mate, me and you would
Yeah.
love the
I
casino.
loved it, mate.
There's casinos. There's like you pay for these 6 like fair things, and you get to go through like mazes, and like it literally was like Las Vegas, I'd imagine, but it was so like cheap and tacky.
Yeah,
And then
they've
you
just
walk,
stuck it there
yeah,
because
yeah,
of the location. It's so
yeah,
much.
literally, and then you literally walk down this hill, and then it's just there, and it's like you don't have to pay for anything. And I was like, I'm stunned. There isn't like a gate to get there, and you have to pay, and you go on a little bit of an exploration, and it's like literally the scariest thing is though the fence is like mid height, like let's say breast height, so you could easily like just jump into it. Like it's not where. Yeah, honestly, I was looking, I was like, what the fuck? And there's pretty much, so you've got the American side, and then you have to go on like a 15-minute walk along the like almost the fence, obviously, where it drops down. And then there's like a Canadian side, which is more of like a circular dome. And it's quite cool because the Canadian side, how the dome works, the water sprays up. So then if you stand on that side, you end up getting wet from the water spraying down because it's like or spraying up because it's like a dome. But yeah, it was quite cool. They have like lights there which I think ruin it a bit because it kind of
light shows and music and
yeah,
stuff.
because it takes away from like the natural sort of like beauty of it, if that's even a thing. But it was cool. It was one of those sort of things. I wouldn't go back there, but I think it's one of those ones you kind of tick it off. So yeah, we did that on Sunday. We went to the CN Tower. Originally we had to reschedule because we couldn't fucking see anything. So, and I should also say for people that don't follow us, we didn't have our bags for the first like 3 days of the trip. For Sanaya, it was 5 days. So we got there. Luckily, in my like actual backpack, I had like some spare joggers, just in case I shat myself. That's what it was. You always need a spare pair of trousers, guys. That's what it is.
Shannon said to Sanaya when we were in Liverpool, she was like, "Oh, make sure you like spread out your." Like put a couple of bits of Reese's stuff in your bag and vice versa, because you never know, you might lose your bags when you got so many like changing flights.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that I think
Sanaya
said that. Yeah, Sanaya said that Shannon had like cursed her because I've never lost my baggage or anything. So yeah, it was a bit of a stress with the baggage situation for like Sanaya. For me, I'm easy. I just went to this like the clothes place that got a few tops and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, like there's a lot worse that can happen. You lose your bags, there's nothing you can do. You can't really stress out about it. Obviously, it's annoying. But I got my bags on Thursday, so now I got hers on Saturday, and we got there on Monday. So it was like a few days. But either way, we went to the CN Tower on the Wednesday night, I think, and it was the only night where it was really cloudy. So we went up there and you couldn't see anything. And the food's overpriced. Me and Sinai aren't really like massive foodies. Like, I'm not the sort of person to be like, I can't wait to eat. I genuinely like not really
to
that
go for the view. How was it getting up there? What was it just like what was the lift like?
You go so quick, your ears pop, so you have to like keep swallowing and stuff like that. So would you get scared by that?
I'd struggle, mate.
Really? What? You wouldn't be able to go, even if you wouldn't be able to go in the lift?
I don't think I'd want to go in there. Like I was, it's the same with the Shard. Like the Shard's got nice like restaurants at the top, hasn't it? Like a view of London. But
yeah,
I could do it. Don't get me wrong, and I'd be fine. Like once I was, well, I don't know. I say that. I would be on edge the whole time. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no,
I would be sat there like trying to eat and not throw up because I'd be like, fucking hell.
To be fair, I found because I don't know if you knew this, like the top part spins really slowly. It takes 72 minutes to spin like fully. Because you're sat there, I was like, Sanai couldn't notice it, but I was almost getting like slight motion sickness because you're moving around. And I was like almost just sat there. And I originally had to just swap seats with Sanaya because I was going backwards. So I could feel myself going like this. And I just didn't like it. The other way wasn't that bad because when you can see it and you're moving forward with it, it's fine. But I could just tell I was like, I'm moving around. But mate, it was
bad enough as it is being that high up.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was a very good experience. The food was sound. £8 for a bottle of fucking water. So I didn't get any water. I just got loads of alcohol.
You not get tap water?
No, mate, you couldn't get tap water. £8 for a bottle of water.
I hate that. You know when you ask for water and then they don't say like, "Oh, do you want tap?"
Yeah.
And they just come back and it's like, "Wait, that's cost me a lot." That
£8. £8 for bottled water, and there was a minimum spend of £75. And that was without tax, and then like everything else was like on top of that. I think we got some sweet potato fries as a side that was like $25 or something. We were just like, yeah, sound, we'll get that. But I got some chicken. The chicken was good at least. The food was good, but it wasn't fancy. It was just nice food. Yeah. So that was nice. But it was more so the experience. Like I said this, if I was to go back with Sanaya, I wouldn't go back there. But if me and you and let's say Shannon and Sanaya were to go, I'd say we should all go for the experience for you guys, if that makes sense. Obviously,
and I'd be like, no.
Yeah, you'd be like, no.
Go and look at it, but that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we did that, but we went on Wednesday and we couldn't see anything. So I had to like be a bit, like I said, I was like, right, we're not massively into food. And
that was a good decision to say we'll go back.
I said I'll pay a cancellation fee or whatever. But we more so we're on vacation.
Were they sound with it?
Yeah, they were cool. They were cool. They just said, yeah, cool. What day do you want to come? And they were like, Friday. So 2 days and then we went on Friday and it was really good. And then away from that, like we just did the standard sort of tourist stuff. There was a few museums that were cool. So like there was one that was like the Royal Ontario Museum, which was like quite like it had loads of different stuff.
How far was your place from like that CN Tower?
Oh mate, it was so the subways there, even though they were scatty as anything, full of like a lot of crazy people, like they were easy as anything to navigate. So much easier. Have you ever been on the subway in London?
Yeah, but like we've done it in Paris and stuff as well.
Okay. the subway was literally like you had a north line, east, south, west, etc. So
Yeah.
like it was really simple. Sanaya understood it like a lot better than me. And like literally you paid like £2 for a subway card, and then that allowed you to be pretty much going anywhere for like a couple of hours.
It's
And then
good,
you
isn't
just
it?
on the way back. Yeah, it was so optimal. And then there was like street cars, which were like their trams. So optimal. No, it was optimal in relation to like, mate, London, traveling around London, if you don't know the subway, and even if you do know
Yeah.
the subway, it's a ball ache. It's fucking hard at times. Like I've gone wrong loads, and I'm not a subway connoisseur, but I'm better than most. And like it's hard to kind of navigate. But there, it was really easy. You had street cars, which were like trams, so they could take you anywhere. You don't, and also you have to really pay for them. I've noticed. Like you can literally just hop on them. No one asks.
So in where was it? It was either in Prague or I think it was in Prague. It was in Prague the first time me and Shannon ever went. I'm sure it was. We must have done like 5 trams or something, and we only realized by like the 5th or 6th one we were like, we're not paying for these. Like
Yeah.
we were like, because you have to validate your ticket, don't you?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like it's if someone's on, it's the same. I think it's the same with like London buses. You know, people have those.
Oyster,
Like
Oyster
Oyster cards, yeah.
they're
And
not
like they get checked now and again if like someone on the
Yeah.
bus that checks if you've got it. But yeah, we only realised at like the end of the holiday in Prague, we're like, oh, fuck, we've not actually been paying for these. Like we just kind of jumped on and off.
Yeah, we hopped on, tried to pay, but you can only pay with coins. Or
Yeah,
like
I think that's what we did. It was a ball ache, and then
yeah.
we're like, well, we've not been told
No.
today. So
Yeah, exactly. And like literally, I said to the guy when we got on there, I was like, "Oh, we haven't got any coins. Do you get checked?" And he was like, He goes, "I've lived here. I've never paid." And I was like, fair enough, sound. So we just did that. We adopted that approach. So if anyone from the streetcar organization is watching, please don't find me. Please don't send me a bill. We only went on it like
don't
20
cancel the
miles,
podcast.
so, yeah, you sound. But yeah, so that's how it worked. And we were literally, it was such a nice sort of place because we were 15-minute walk from the subway. So it was okay, and that took you into the town. And we were a 15-minute drive into the town, into the center, like downtown. And with where we were, like there were loads of streets of like just in like strips of almost, like shops and places like that. So it was almost the case where like my morning routine was I go for a walk, I'd go to like the main strip. There was a gym there where I did my cardio. So I was still doing cardio pretty much for the best part. I did like 6 days worth of the stairs at like 30 minutes. No wonder I came back fucking 4 kilos down because my feet, I just battered, my lower body's ruined. But yeah, literally, it was a case where my routine was pretty similar. As mentioned, we were 15-ish minutes away, like walking from pretty much anywhere. And I quite like the whole like walking dynamics. Like I enjoy going for a walk. I enjoy getting steps in. So yeah, that was that. And then obviously, as mentioned with the subways, the amount of like crazies that were there were it's pretty absurd. So like obviously I've said this on my story. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I actually got a client that asked me go into detail. I got spat on pretty much. I almost got attempted robbery, but there was a lot of people there that either had mental health issues or they were homeless, which doesn't lead to mental health issues, but leads to them being a bit mad. And then also a lot of drug issues because every night, especially on the weekend, Monday, there was none. But from Friday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday-ish, every night we saw more. So there was like, I think there was one night where we saw like 6 to 7, like pretty crazy people who are just not with it. They shout. It's almost like they're there, but they're not there. They're almost like touching something on the wall that doesn't exist, or they're like zombies. It's very odd. So there was a few of them, and you almost think to yourself, like, this guy could easily turn around.
A bit like how we got in Liverpool.
Yeah, honestly, off their fucking face. But yeah, so basically, a rather large emo goth. Sorry to any emos.
Can't say that.
Emo goth woman.
Can't even say large.
No, I can't. No,
Shouldn't be discriminating size.
No. Not like she was overweight. Yeah, 100% she was overweight, but she was big as well. She was like 6 foot. I was like, I'm gonna have to take this one. So she just walked into me and kicked me. So I was like, all right, sound. She kicked me. I'm not even looking at her direction. I just thought she's kicked me, and then she screams at the top of her lungs, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, oh great, here we go. And then I'm not even looking at her because I'm just like, she's just kicked me. I'm looking the other direction. And she goes, I'm talking to you, dude. So I look at her. And I'm just like, what's up? And then she's like, what the fuck? Why'd you kick me? Why'd you trip me over? And I just looked up. I didn't.
Annoying.
And then I was like, I didn't. And then she like comes up to me, but she like starts looking at my like bag full of food. But she's like, imagine I'm like looking at her. I'm like doing this. Looking at the food. So I'm like, what, is she going to grab my food? And she just makes the slowest attempt. And she like, imagine she tries to grab it, but she's like slow motion. So I just like, imagine this is the monster can. And I just kind of do this. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I've got my phone in my other hand. So I've got my phone like this, and she tries to grab my phone. And I just literally like elbow her hand away from me. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like almost confused. And then she like stomps off. And I'm thinking, everyone around me is like, what the fuck, man? What's happening? Like everyone's like, this is so weird. And then she just comes back, looks at me, and spits on my arm. And I just said to her, are you okay? And then she just stomped off, and that was it. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird situation. If it was a dude, it'd be a bit different because I was so like I was leant back, just sitting back, just chilling. If it was a guy, I'd be thinking, right, if he tries to like hit me, I'm gonna have to be a bit more responsive than just leaning back because a girl's not going to be able to take me unless, let's say, maybe. But yeah, I was like, a girl's not going to try anything. But yeah, so she just spat on me. But there was loads of them, like loads of these people that were just like a bit off their face and stuff like that. So yeah, that was. I think I've said everything. Anyway, Liverpool, mate. How was the weekend? We went away. Sinai had sorted us out, or sorted me out more so, but Finn got the benefit of a little like weekend away in Liverpool. It was for my birthday, so they kept it a bit of a secret. So yeah, Finn, your turn to talk, mate. What do you think of the weekend? Did you enjoy it? This was before I went to Canada, so this was the 6th to the 8th.
Yeah,
so
this wasn't last weekend; it was the one before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I deloaded, so I had from Thursday to Sunday off, which worked out really well, to be fair, because I was going to deload from the start of the next week, but then I thought I might as well just deload over the weekend while I'm away. It makes more sense. Get to spend a bit more time with Shannon as well, because I'd have been deloading while Shannon's at work otherwise. So it worked out pretty well. Yeah. So the Friday we went and did golf. I was shit. I came last.
Mate, you were really bad.
I was really bad. Yeah.
Really bad. Someone who like you're usually pretty good at most things. Like
yeah. That. I think I just wasn't. I don't know. Usually I'd be like really competitive and it'd piss me off. But I was like, I was like, yeah, it is what it is. Like I let myself down and I accepted it. But yeah, since then I've been every day and I'm getting good again. So I'm gonna next time we go, I'll win. No, so we did that, didn't we? Then we went out for Italian. That was nice. What did we get? We both got a pizza. We got a pizza to share and we got pasta each.
Yeah.
But I got medium, you got large because I was deloading, so I had to be a little bit more careful with my calories.
I was training that weekend.
I lost 4 pounds that weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I came back. I was 188 pounds.
Yeah, man. You probably drank about 9,000 calories worth. So
yeah, I was just so dehydrated.
That's what it is. So yeah, was that Saturday? So what? No, Friday.
Yeah, that was Friday.
And then we had food, and then we just headed back and did we do anything after that?
No, that was it. We because we ended up going out. It was pretty late. By the time we finished that meal, it was like 10.
Yeah.
We just went to bed. I think we had 1 drink or 2 drinks, didn't we, that night? Yeah, we had a drink at the golf, then we had a drink at the meal.
Yeah.
And you were gone. I was driving. I was like, hey. No, Reece was gone. I was fine. And then Saturday we worked in the morning, didn't we? And then we just went into town, like did some shopping. I absolutely nailed it. I had a masterclass.
Finn had a masterclass. We were in flannels. Was it flannels? Was it Selfridges? No, it was flannels. Yeah, we were in flannels, and like literally, Finn found like a very nice jumper and 2 tees, or 2 jumpers and a tee for
2
like
t-shirts and a jumper. It was 100. It was 100 quid, 110.
It was cheaper than that. I thought it was cheap. I thought it was like 70 or 80.
Nah, it was 100 quid, but like the jumper alone was supposed to be 70. The t-shirts were supposed to be like 40 quid each, so it should have been like 170 quid or something. And I got it. It was 100, and I was like, when she said it, I was like, all right. So yeah, it was I absolutely nailed it. So yeah, we went shopping. Reece bought a Jordan Henderson book, yes. and then we lost it. So we went to Waterstones because we saw the Hendo marketing in the window. Yeah. So we went in there because Reece wanted it for going on holiday. I bought Shannon a book, but then we couldn't find the Henderson book, could we? So Reece had to go into the actual window to get it, and then we found there was a massive section with all of them. We were like, oh, they were there. Anyway, so we bought the book, and then we went to try and find where the girls had gone. So we went to Primark because that's where they last went. And then, anyway, we were in Primark for like 2 minutes, weren't we? And then we left. And then, like 5 minutes later, Reece was like,
"No, it was not like it was a half an hour later."
Yeah, it was when we were in flannels.
Yeah, we were in flannels, and we were looking around at some clothes, and I literally did this. It was so slow. I just looked at the right hand and was like, "Where's my book?" I just looked at both hands, and I was like, Finn, I said, Finn, have you got your book? And Finn was like, yeah, it's I've got it in my jumper.
I've got my book in my jumper pocket.
Yeah, and I was like, I haven't got my book. And then people were like, where the fuck you put your book?
Then we
So
were asking like the people in flannels, like, have you seen my Jordan Henson book?
there was such an I really want to read it. So we went round flannels,
Went
Finn
to
got
Tesco.
clothes and stuff like that. And then we went back to a Tesco where I think I got a Monster from or somewhere. I got a drink and some water. And then we went back into Primark, and then literally we found it. It wasn't really, it's funnier in person, but yeah, we found it.
No,
I
it's
put it.
not. It's hilarious, mate. No, it
No,
was good. I think
and then
have I got for people who are maybe watching? I
Mm.
think I've got the photo. Here he is.
so happy. Yeah, there
That's
it
when
is.
we found him. We found him stood. Well, Hendo was just there, wasn't he? Bless him.
Yeah, he was. He was left face down, luckily. If it was face up, it's Liverpool. People would have fucking took it. Not because people in Liverpool steal, but it's Jordan fucking Henderson, Liverpool legend. People were like, oh yeah, I want to read his autobiography. And to be fair, it was half price in that bookshop. It was half price. Oh my, he looks horrendous there. It was half price
Look how red you look as
12
well.
quid. It was like 12 quid for half price. I was like, who's spending 24 quid on a book? I don't know if that's the going rate of a book. That's expensive for a book, like piece of paper. Come on, man.
Anyway,
So
then we
got the book. We then went out. We then did the escape room, didn't we?
yeah, we were absolutely useless at that. That pissed me off though, because we were late. We were late already, so 10 minutes had already gone. So we were already on the back foot. We were 1-0 down already. It felt like we were 3-0 down when we even went in.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, was it? It wasn't a good. I don't feel like there was a good feeling in the team. I think we already knew we'd lost.
The morale was down.
The morale was low. Needed a morale booster. Had to buy one. But no, the first
they haven't been in FIFA since like FIFA 13. You know, those morale. Yeah, morale hasn't been in FIFA since like FIFA 13.
How was it not?
No one would know that. Like you have to buy squad fitness and then squad morale. So if you lost like 3 games, your team would just start playing shit.
Fuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how important chemistry was until I first made a team with 100 chemistry, and I was like, immense at football, at FIFA. All of a sudden, I was winning every game. I was like, what the fuck? Everyone was gelling like insanely well. But anyway, we didn't do the escape room. Well, we did it, but we didn't get out, so we stuck in there still now. No, it's a horrendous joke. We got out obviously because they let us out. But yeah, I don't know. We did all right. Fair play to Sanaya. Sanaya was pretty good at it. I'll give her that. She was quite good at it. But I was saying, we were saying, weren't we? It was like there's almost too many of us. It was like there's trying to do a job for 1 or 2 people, and it's like then how the lights were. Like if one of us was stood in the way of the light, it was like you couldn't do that bit. So like at times it was like there's too many people trying to do one job. But afterwards, we felt like, oh, I want to do it again. I want to do another one and actually get out. So we said, we'll do, like, there's loads in Loughborough, there's loads in Leicester. So we'll have to do it. Because we had a good time, didn't we? Like, we ought to do stuff like that more, especially like escape rooms or golf or stuff like that. It's like, it doesn't have to involve food or drink. Like, you can do them like any weekend. So
it doesn't have to involve it, but we had like 7 drinks.
Afterwards, we fucking got on it, didn't we? Yeah. No, we went to a comedy club afterwards. So for people will know, it's called.
No, we didn't, mate. We got food. We got food. That was what.
Oh
we did.
We went to food. Yeah, we went for food. What's that guy's name?
Alex. His name's eluded me. Alex Gammons. That's it. There we go. Shout out to AG. I think his name's Alex Gammons. I'm 99% sure it is. Yeah, shout out to him. 20% off the meal.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I had to pay for that one as well, so he did sort me out.
But yeah, no, it was good food, really good food. I went there with CSN when I was at the Fitex show in like June, July, and we all went there after the show, and like everyone thought it was like really good food. And I remember saying to Sanaya, like, I ate at this place and I got a real good burger, like probably one of the best burgers I've ever had. And but then at the same time, like because Sanaya booked it, I said to Finn and Shannon that day, I was like, I don't know if it's amazing. It's just we all enjoyed the food and it was good company. But it was actually a really good, like it was a good called?
Like Pan Am or something.
Yeah, Pan Am. Yeah. It was a really cool place. Like it was almost like
it was cool music. It was really quiet. Because Peter Kay was on.
Yeah, and then like it was busy when we went in there, but then obviously it started quieting down because Peter Kay was there.
So now I thought Peter Kay was playing in the pub. Yeah, it's like right next to the M&S Arena, and she was like, "When's Peter Kay coming in there?"
So we did that. We had food. Liverpool were on. So for the first half, we
played a bit
kind
of pool, didn't we?
Yeah, we played a bit of pool.
I won. I am good at everything. I just wasn't good at golf.
We were shocking at pool. We were so bad. Like it was embarrassing how bad me and Finn were at pool.
It's hard when you've not done it for like years.
Yeah.
Like you forget. Like I said, I used to have a pool table in my room. I used to be class at it.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we had like a half-hour walk to a comedy club, didn't we? So we literally we strolled over to the comedy club. We had a few drinks there.
Yeah, so for people will know it's called Hot Water Comedy Club. People will know the guy called
Really
Paul
popular.
Smith.
It's really popular, but I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it is
I
really
just thought,
popular. Me and Shannon went like a couple of years ago when we went to Liverpool for Shannon's birthday, I think it was. And Paul Smith was there then. He was the host, but this time he wasn't there. So I had a few people, even Will Razzo asked a question this week. What did Paul Smith say to Reece? Because I think I said with the I think I said with Josh last week that like they were taking the piss out of you. I can't remember if I did. I think we must have
they
spoken
took the
about
piss out of you and your neck. They said you've got the biggest neck in the world.
They just said, and your mate with a big neck. I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
You mate. They're like, your neck's fucking massive, mate. And you were like,
He didn't say that. He said something afterwards, didn't he? I can't remember what he said. He said, and your mate with a big neck, it's like summer. And we didn't hear it or get the reference. But everybody else apparently did and was laughing right at me. And then I went into the toilets and I was like, fuck's sake. I was really upset. I was like that thing. It's like, what is it? And it's like that girl's talking. She's like, when they ask you you're okay and you're not okay. And I'm there like
yeah. No, it was a funny experience. A Sanaya afterwards said to me, like, I'm surprised you didn't bite back when you were getting bullied. I'm like, I didn't get bullied. They're just taking the piss out of like, I think they're just making a joke like about how I look, like it's sound. You're gonna
that's you get if you're going there, especially for somebody like you who like you are bigger than most people, like you're gonna get something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, or especially if you're on the front row, everybody on the front row gets spoken to. Yeah. If you were sat at the other side of the room, they wouldn't have said anything, but it's because when he was coming on and off stage, you kept walking past us, didn't he? So he saw you. He's like, fucking hell, you're a big lad. So then, he was saying that. But like, then they shone the light on us, didn't they? And they were saying, but I can't even remember the stuff. Mate, none of it was funny. It was just generic.
The guy behind us was hilarious. The dude that was, there was a guy that was so pissed. It was silly. Like his girlfriend, I felt so bad for her because she was so embarrassed. And like he was laughing at every joke, like in between jokes.
And like they always tell you, like don't talk because it ruins it.
Shouting, and like when they basically said there was like, there's a big dude at the back, get the light on him. I like ducked, and the lights fell on him, and he stood up and he was like, "Is it me?" And he was like, "No, mate, sit down."
He said something like, "No, you're fucking scrawny. Sit down."
Yeah, something like that. And he ended up, I think he got kicked out or something, and he just ended up disappearing. But yeah, there was a dude that was behind us.
There's always a few that end up getting kicked. Like I say, last time when we went, there was that woman. She got kicked out. People get too drunk and then they're just talking all the time. It's like you can't hear them. Like you're in quite a small room, but if a couple of people next to you are talking, you can't hear the person.
No,
it was decent on it, but they didn't really take the piss out of you much. It was just generic, like, "Oh, you're big." Like, I don't think there was a joke that was funny or anything, was there?
No, it was the classic. Like, I'm surprised they didn't mention anything steroid related.
I think he did.
Did he? Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's why. Oh, yeah, he said that's why.
Yeah, the guy that was sat behind us when we went for a drink.
Yeah,
that's the guy that was like grabbing you and going like, "Be careful what you're taking." Like,
oh yeah,
look after yourself or something.
He's like, I know.
Saying something about me being on gear and you not. It's like he was fucked, wasn't
he? He was so drunk he actually thought Finn was enhanced.
And I was like, "How dare you, mate? How dare you? You know who I am? I'm the natural bodybuilder, Finn Kelly _coach." Got him to follow me, didn't we? That's what we did. That's all we did on the night out. We just went around trying to get people to follow us.
Yeah, and then after that, mate, we headed out, didn't we?
We did. We went out.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been out in England since 2019, maybe 2018.
To be fair,
it's been 4. I've drank like when I've been abroad, but like I've never actually gone out in England for a long time. And yeah, it was an eventful. I say eventful night. It really wasn't. It was just a kind of chilled night. Like we didn't get up to anything really. But, like we didn't get into any scraps, unfortunately. Me and Finn were going around looking for scraps, looking for fights.
The thing is, though, like it's just annoying. Like people feel like they have the right to like grab you or talk to you because you're a bit bigger than everyone else. It's like
there was multiple times. Like I think it's funny how perceptions work. Because if I was 18 and I'd gone out and I'd wore a shirt and people would like touch my arms, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the fucking shit." But when you just get you would do. When you were a young lad, you think, "Oh, this is cool."
But no,
it's just annoying. Like
I just find it sad. I find it really sad. Like, imagine being a middle-aged bloke and see and somebody that you don't know, that you've never met, talking to him or grabbing him or being like, "Fucking hell, you're like, what is wrong with you?"
Oh,
You know
no,
what I
like,
mean?
yeah, it is. It's weird. Like, I wore a top that was not stupidly tight. It was just a normal size
Looks like
fitted.
a size small or something on it.
Yeah, size extra small. Mate, it's actually a 2XL, but it's a smaller tee. But yeah, it was just a normal fitted tee. And like I must have had like, I don't even know. Like any place I walked in when I took my jacket off, 3 or 4 or 5 people, and we probably went to multiple places. So it was like easily double figures, maybe like 20 plus. And it was like you just walk by something
Definitely
and they
wasn't.
grab you.
It was probably
No,
about
mate.
5
I'd
people.
walk to the toilets and I get grabbed by like 3 people. I'm like, I don't get annoyed. It's not where I'm like, fuck off, but it's just a bit like, all right, sound. Let me go
Shannon,
through a
did Reece get touched by 20 plus people in Liverpool? Yeah. Oh, she said yeah. She backed it
Yeah,
up.
there we go. There we go. Cheers.
I was 20. Yeah, she's thinking about it now. She's thinking about it.
Yeah, maybe
I think
50.
she expected. She thought I was on your side then, but I'm not.
Yeah. There we go, Finn. Thanks.
You've been
Right, it's going to cut us off, mate. Let's, Finn, it's going to cut us off. So let's do part 2.
Yeah, it's going to cut us off. Part 2.
Down part 2.
Oh yeah, we've still got your toothbrush, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, so Reece left his toothbrush at the Airbnb. So obviously I went back and got it. I did rub it all around the toilet before I've put it in this bag for you, mate. So
oh yeah, cheers,
or
mate.
did I? Who knows? Who knows?
Just bring it for tomorrow, mate. That would be great. But yeah, went out. That was that. We went to a few different places. We were going to go to a casino. Me and Finn said we'd have like a bet or like.
That's all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
From Friday when we got there, I was like, we could go to the casino one night, and then it was in my head that we had to go.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Finn didn't bring his ID out, which was a bit of a shame. So we couldn't go to the casino. Well, we could have, but it would have been stupidly late.
Oh yeah, we were like, we could go back and get it and come back out, and it was like, what time was it? It must have been like 2 o'clock or something by then.
It was later than that. It was like 3. It was like,
was it?
Yeah, it was close to 3, and you were like, "It's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. We'll be back here, mate, by 2:30." Like, I'm gonna be honest, man, and this is me being genuinely like honest. It's nice at the same. I was stunned with how you were, because you were way more proactive and like willing than me. I'm pretty boring. Like, I will just do what people. I'm pretty easy. I'll just like follow. I'll go, yeah, sound. But I'm easy. I could have easily gone home after the comedy club. You were like, let's do this. Oh, let's go here. Let's do this. Have this drink. Have this. And I'm just like, fucking hell, Finn. You're usually pretty plain, but you were way more forward than I thought you would be.
Nah, I think it's more so like because we've never been out together as well.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like we might as well have a good laugh. Like, and the thing is, it's not as if we went crazy. Like we had a few drinks. We were well in control. None of us were like drunk, but we all had a good time. Like it was nice.
Yeah,
it was good.
I think Sanaya and Shannon had a bit more than us. Well, definitely, I'd say.
Shannon was absolutely smashed. Shannon was on.
Yeah, Sanaya couldn't remember parts.
Tell you what, Shannon is absolutely class at dancing.
Shannon's very good at dancing.
Shannon's like, really got some right moves.
Yeah, like really good. The only issue is she laughs afterwards because I think she thinks, I'm being a bit too serious, but she can actually dance really well.
Yeah, she is good.
Yeah, I'm impressed. But no, I do get what you mean. It was one of them, like, we'll look back at that and go, fucking hell, that was very out of character. Because me and you never do anything like that. And it was nice. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was good. And I think like it's one of those, like, I not necessarily like almost want to when you're going out, you might as well enjoy it and make the most of it to an extent. Like what we've always said, like I'll never just have a drink to have a drink because I'm not really bothered about drinking. If I'm gonna have a drink, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll have a few drinks and have a bit of a laugh. You know what I mean? Like, and I've always been that. I've never been like, oh, I'll have a pint with a footy. Like, what? No. Like, if I'm gonna have a drink, I'll have a drink to go out and have a drink and get a bit drunk and have a bit of a laugh. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I was like, we might as well do that. And also, like, how often do we go out? Like, or especially in Liverpool. Like, if we were in Leicester, I'd be like, no, I'm not going out in Leicester. But it's like we're in like a decent place where there's stuff to do. Yeah. And yeah, it was good. We actually had a good time.
No, it was a good period. It was, to be fair, I really enjoyed the weekend. It was nice.
And I and Shannon are going for coffee at some point as well now, mate.
Fucking hell. So what are we going to do in that time? We're going to just, meet up.
Maybe like maybe have intercourse together or something.
Yeah, maybe a bit of intercourse. Yeah, fair enough. Coffee, but have a bit of intercourse. That sounds.
Oh, you're going for coffee. All right. Reece, all right to come round and we'll go in the bedroom for a bit. Yeah.
We'll bum each other.
No, you can't say that. Can't say that. That's why I said intercourse. Can't say bum. Sorry, guys. We're going to have to cancel the pod.
Cancel Reece. Reece should not allow that. Josh Croggan's coming in. So, yeah. No, fair enough. Maybe, yeah. To be fair, as I said earlier, we don't need to go out, especially when we're prepping. But things like golf, escape rooms, like I said to you when we were walking actually up to the comedy club, it's something that I want to keep doing because especially in a prep, obviously towards the end, you're going to be fucking ruined. You're going to be battered. You don't want to. But I think it creates that level of normality. And I think bodybuilding, physique development, like it is something I've probably learned more so in the last probably year or two, especially when all we do is chat to clients about coaching this and training. It's good to recognize when to switch off and when to actually take a step back. And doing things such as going to the cinema together or going and doing an escape room. Like the four of us work well and it was good fun. So I think over the next few months, we should do an escape room. We should,
Well, we've said, haven't we? Even just like things like holidays, like I said, when I went away with Shannon, that time where it's like I actually had a bit of time off to just switch off completely. Like I probably looked the best I've ever looked because I was just like, my body was so relaxed. So we were thinking about maybe going away before our prep as well, to be honest, but I want to get the house sorted. I don't want to waste time going on, not waste time, but you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, let's book a holiday. Let's do this. Let's do that. When it's like, we need to be putting our free time towards getting a house and getting offers in and sorting that out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of summed up everything over the last like 2 or so weeks. Like I said, I deloaded for the back end. So it was pretty much a case where I had a bit of a break for me, but towards the back end of the Canada trip. But away from that, I think everything's sound. So do you want to do like 10, 15 minutes of questions, mate? And then we'll wrap it up. Sound. Cool. So I'm not too sure. I don't know if we've got any from last week, mate, but I've got a few from Sia Argan. So obviously, I sent you a message, didn't I, with a screenshot related to that. He's asked, why did Finn block me? I'm just trying to be a fan and interact with my idols. That story was sarcastic.
I just got a bit fed up, mate. It was like, I feel like he was tagging me in a story like every 2 minutes, and I just got a bit annoyed.
So he was the story arc. So we have the real master, which is Thermitage or whatever, Thermitage Fitness. Tom.
Thermitage, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you say his name. Sorry.
Thermitage, yeah, we'll say Thermitage.
Thermitage.
I think it's T Heritage or T, Thermitage. Hermitage. I don't know.
That's what.
Tell us, mate. Tell us Thermitage real master.
Argan. So
you do a reel on how to say your name.
Yeah, and then we've got the story master, Argan. So why? So what? He was just tagging you in too many stories, and you just thought this.
Well, because he couldn't tag you, he was tagging me in loads and like saying about me and you, and I was just like, I'm not having Reece get off with this. Like, it's not fair on me. I'm having to get all these tags because of Reece.
Fair enough. So he's there, so that's why. And then he's also asked, hope you enjoyed the trip to Canada. Did you enjoy Pure Muscle more than the Mecca? Well, it's a gym at the end of the day. You lift weights from point A to point B. However, the vibe was better. The individuals that trained there were better. There was a lot
better than Cuba and AJ.
Yeah, mate. There's like 15 IFBB pros there, and it's 15 IFBB pros. Oh my god, there was so many though, mate. The one thing, there was so many SARM kids there. It was ridiculous. Every single like 16 to probably 20-year-old had like really capped delts, no muscle, training in stringers in groups of 4 or 5, videoing themselves for like TikTok and stuff. It was actually pretty wild how many there were. I was blown away. And believe it or not, Jason One has asked top 5 UK gyms. Jason was the dude that I saw in the gym. He came up to me. And he was a bit like lost for words, bless him. And I was just like, mate, it's cool. Don't worry. Like
I saw he follows loads of people that
he follows like the whole of the UK bodybuilding scene. Like none from his place. But yeah, I got recognized. He came up to me, he was like, Reece, oh my god, Reece, I can't believe it's you. And I was like, you know what, mate? He's like, I'm Jason. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, man. Like, it's a wicked gym you've got here. Like, obviously, it's not his gym, but it's like it's a wicked gym that you train at. Like, I told him what I'm doing, asked him what he's training. But yeah, it was a weird interaction. Not in a bad way. Really nice interaction. More so, I was pretty
expected when you're like other side of the world.
I literally was just walking around the gym before we'd even trained, just looking at the kit and seeing what they've got and like planning my session and the following session. So I was like having a look, and then to have somebody come up to me and be like, "Can I get a photo of you?" I was like, sure. Like, it was a bit bizarre. Like, it was different because I'm not really used to that, especially being over there. I can understand like a UK gym. I mean, I'm Reece fucking fit. I can understand, but
Reece fucking fit. Is that what your new name is?
Fucking fit. But yeah, he said he listens to the podcast and all that stuff. So yeah, clearly, yeah, he's a big fan. So thanks for the question. So he's asked top 5 UK gyms. Finn, top 5 UK gyms. Fire.
The hashtag Mecca ×5.
Good answer. I'd say the Mecca, the hashtag Mecca, sorry. Normanton, Ultraflex, Leeds, Ultraflex. The gym that I trained at in Liverpool, that gym.
Elite strength and performance.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. I like the vibe there. Kit was sound. And then...
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say something quite out there right now.
Intense, I'm going to say.
I'm going to say something quite out there right now. Premier.
My God, Premier. Really,
Premier's a very good gym
with the new kit and stuff.
Just I think everything. I think it's a very good gym. I think
Mm.
it's well run. I think it's invested into well.
Yeah.
I think it's got good equipment. I think it's got a good environment. It's got good lighting. It's got good space.
The only thing I would say, mate, it took them like a year and a half to get the primal pendulum.
Yeah, it did. But since then, they've been getting on top of everything. Yeah, Rob used to tell us that the primal pendulum was coming every week for literally a year.
Yeah, he was like, lads, primal pendulum's coming in. And we were like, yeah, sound. Next week, primal pendulum's coming in, lads. Just wait. We're like, yeah, sound. Every single week.
He has got it, though. He wasn't lying. They have got it now.
No, he wasn't lying. Did come.
It was like buses, like nothing. There was nothing forever, and then the primal pendulum came, and then it was like there was hundreds of new pieces of equipment.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, I think Premier is a good shout. To be fair, mate, I'd say it's definitely a lot better than
without it's not. If we were to legitimately put the top 5 gyms, it wouldn't be in there for equipment and stuff. But it is a really good gym.
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you want to go through some of yours, mate?
I'm just quickly getting them up, mate.
That's for another one, mate. Jason's asked, your girlfriend and mum swap bodies. You have to fuck one for them to switch back. Who do you bang? So do you bang your mum in Shannon's body or Shannon in your mum's body? I think this is an easy one.
I'm confused. Do they have the same face? Shannon's piping up in the background.
No. So it's like, I'm guessing personality. So like, let's say it's your mum's body, face, it's just your mum, but Shannon's in her head, and then you're going to be in her. Or is it the other way around?
Shannon's body.
Yeah, easily. Like, I'm sorry, mum. Like, you can just close your eyes. Like, it might be your head, but I'm seeing Sanaya.
Oh yeah, no chance. Like, well, I wouldn't. There's not really. I wouldn't really like to do it, but I mean, I'd much rather do that than the other one.
Well, yeah, of course. I wouldn't really like it either. I don't think anyone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to actively want my mum to be.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Psychology suggests otherwise. Apparently, a lot of us want to sleep with our mothers.
Yeah, I know. It's very weird that's one thing that Sopranos, like a lot of the therapy with Tony, the main character, and the like pretty much his therapist were actually talking about him wanting to sleep with his mum, and he was
well, like, you do it, so
yeah, exactly.
You've actually said on the podcast before that you sleep with your mum.
No, I slept in a bed
with my mum.
But I didn't mean to say that.
You said he slept with his mum.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. I knew that was going to come up when I saw the question. I knew instantly that was going to be brought up. So yeah, right.
Can I ask some questions now?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Come on.
Will Bertolini has asked, why didn't you fly direct to Canada?
You can't really, unfortunately. Like, I think you can if you're lucky with how the flights work, and I think they're a bit more expensive, like, and not worth it relative to what you do. And stopover flights are really easy. You literally get off, and then you just get on another plane.
Lose your bags, and get on another one.
Yeah, no, you don't have to go grab your bags. Like, that's the
yeah, that's exactly why you lose them.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they go. That's how there can be issues. But the way back, there was 2 stops. There was literally, we flew from Toronto to Frankfurt and then Frankfurt to the UK, which is slightly frustrating because you actually fly over the UK. So it's almost like, just go down now. Drop us off here.
Parachute.
Yeah, so it was 8 hours to Frankfurt, or 8.5, and then an hour and a half from Frankfurt to the UK. And to be fair, hour and a half flights, the same of Ireland, an hour flight, like, it's so quick, it's ridiculous. By the time you've even taken off and you're actually up there, you're coming back down again, it feels like. So yeah, that was sound. And on the way there, it was to Frankfurt for an hour and a half, then to Montreal for 8 hours, and then an hour to Toronto. But I think it's just how they work and how the kind of flight schemes work, because there's not an unlimited amount of flights. It's not like you could go to the airport now and you'd be able to fly to Spain in an hour. You'd be able to fly to Spain in 3 hours. You'd be able to fly to Spain in 6 hours. So I think with those sort of flights, they're a little bit more specific. Yeah. But in total, the travel time's around like 11 to 13 hours. So yeah, and now I'm just so jet lagged. I find that by the way, jet lag is such a bullshit conception. Like, you just feel a bit out of sync.
Yeah, I think it's just a feeling, isn't it? People will like use it as an excuse for days.
Hope you're not jet lagged and all that stuff. It's like, I don't even know what jet lagged is. Like, does anybody? Like, I just feel maybe a little bit more out of sync, but you just wake up a bit later.
Yeah, within a day, a day or two, you can sort it out.
Yeah.
How long have you got, mate?
5 minutes. Why?
Okay, cool. Because I need a wee, but we can carry on.
Cool.
Josh Croggan, was Reece natty on holiday?
Yes. Yeah, I was.
Health block.
Yeah, health phase, bro. Even though this was actually quite funny. I got my haircut on Saturday downtown, and a guy recognized me from getting my haircut, who was getting his haircut there at the same time or similar time, came up to me in the gym when we trained, because the gym's like a 40-minute drive. And he was like asking me, he was like, he comes up to me, he goes, "You getting your haircut downtown earlier, dude?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I recognize you." And then basically he was saying to me, he was asking me about like what I'm doing. He thought I was competing while I'm over there. So I was like, "Mate, me now, like I was training a tank. Luckily my arms and delts are pretty lean." I was like, "No, I'd have to be a lot leaner." And then he said, he was like, "What are you doing for like gear while you're out here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm cruising, mate. Like it's not anything that I need." He's like, "Oh, well, I can sort you out if you need anything. Like just let me know what you need." And he was like, "Do you want to take my number?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. Don't
I'm
worry."
actually here for a week. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's not like I'm here for like a month, and yeah, and so yeah, so basically I said that, took some Anadrol, got some like tests and stuff like that from him, but no, in all seriousness, yeah, I say natty, I wasn't natty, I was
You'll
still
never be
I was
natty.
in a physiological range.
You'll never
You
be
cannot be
natty. You'll never be natty again, mate.
natty, you can never be natty again, but yeah, natty, I've been cruising now for the last 8 weeks, so yeah, prep cycle kicks off on the 5th of Feb, so then I can just be a dick and just say, oh yeah, it's all the trend that I'm not going to be on, so yeah, exciting.
Right, I'm dying for a wee, so let's wrap it up.
Oh, mate, we can't wrap up. Come on, do a few more. Come on.
Well, I'm going to end up pissing myself live on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, you're fine. Carry on. Come on.
Charlie W lifts. Do you think Arsenal are going to win the league?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. They're dominating every single game, mate.
Yeah,
I look at their personnel.
feel like
I
they've
don't
still got it in them to bottle it a little bit. I don't mean
yeah.
that. I'm not just saying that to be a dick. Like I do think they've still got it in them.
I
But
think
I think if what I was saying to Matt the other day, if Liverpool and or City were at the level that they've been at, then I'd say no. But because everyone else is off it a little bit, then I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did win the league.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's just I don't think you look at their squad and I don't look at them and think, oh yeah, title winners. Gabriel and Saliba are not title winning CBs. You know, like they're good, just good players in good form.
Yeah, but it's like Wes Morgan isn't a title winning centre back,
Mate,
but we saw him at the basketball.
Yeah, we did, but that's a completely different sort of team.
I don't know though. Like it is, but this season, City are off it compared to their usual selves. Liverpool are way off it. Chelsea are off it. United are looking good, but they're not. Like obviously they haven't been at that level. So, Will Razzo, what did Paul Smith say to Reece? We've already covered that. He wasn't there. So this next one, right? James McNichol, 5. What prize do I get for winning FPL league? So he must be top of the league. And then he's put, and then smoking Finn on stage.
Fair enough. So what? Okay.
Confident, mate.
Should we do like a multiplier? So for example, like he gets 100 quid or something.
He gets 100 quid for FPL, and then if he beats me, it doubles.
Yeah, it doubles.
Mate, he's going to be training so hard thinking about that.
Strictly out of the pocket. How does it feel to have foiled Jack Eagles' plan to ruin your prep? The woman, you know, the emo goth, rather large woman. Miles Mason, that's the guy who asked the question.
that was that.
He was a hitman sent by Jack Eagles to get you. That's what it was. Jack Eagles has hired a goth woman to attack me. And
he is top of the league. He's only 6 points top though. Will Roberts is 2nd. Brody Banks is 3rd. Ben Hughes is 4th. Zach Feve is 5th. I'm 15th.
Fair enough, mate. Ryan Walker, favourite way.
Favorite way?
CMP. What is it? What are you going with?
CMP. No, to be fair, mate, I've started having a rapid recovery shake again.
Yeah, I've seen, mate. Yeah, I've seen. I looked at your meals and I was like, you're only eating 4 like real meals, mate. Come on, you got to be eating real food, bro.
Oh, have I? Mate,
yeah,
you have a shake a day. You've been having a shake a day for the past month.
Yeah, and I've been shitting myself every other day.
To be fair, my digestion's actually really good at the minute. My digestion wasn't great not long ago, and I think it was because I was having too much sweet potato. I was having a kilo of sweet potato in one day, and I think it was that. So I changed that. So I have now on a rest day, I have 2 sweet potato meals instead of 3, and then I have one of them as a recovery shake, and I have a recovery shake on a training day. And mate, it's very nice. Just the chocolate one. It's really, really nice. So I'm having that. I wouldn't say that's like my favorite whey because I've only been having it recently, and obviously it's not just purely whey. It is like whey and carb powder. But yeah, favorite way. I mean, at the minute, probably the CMP Rainbow Cookie.
I like that. It's good,
That
sweet,
is
bit
very,
too
very
sweet
nice.
when food gets a bit high. I haven't
Yeah.
really been having whey. Like I tell a lie actually. I bought the Ghost like Chips Ahoy cookie whey because I brought whey with me, but the whey didn't come obviously with it being in the
Yeah.
soup. And yeah, and that was really good. That was really nice. Had little bits of cookie in it, but I think the macros, it's like it's good, but you can get a far more efficient way. It was very much like I think it was like per 25 protein, it was like 7 carb and 3 fat. So it's like
Yeah.
that's not that good in
Not great.
comparison to like in comparison to even before, and then not even in comparison to like an isolate or whatever. But yeah, I'd say like the general perform ways are pretty sound. Like the brownie batter, double chocolate, white chocolate. You can't really go too wrong. Which is actually what you should do. Go on Perform Way, have a look at a flavor you think you like the sound of, and just try it. And you'll
Yeah,
probably
do
go,
exactly
oh,
what he's saying, but do it on CMP. Don't do it on Perform.
no, CMP as well. CMP stuff is sound. It doesn't mix as well. It's a bit
Yeah, we've
thicker.
said this before. I'm literally gonna piss myself.
Right,
So,
you go to the toilet, mate, and then we'll carry on for a few minutes
all
because
right.
we're
Do you
on.
want me to let me do another
Yeah,
question for you? So
yeah.
you
Ask a
can.
question that's good. That gives me a bit of time to actually answer.
Are there any lessons you have learned from last prep for this prep? Perfect
Oh,
and
100%.
topical as well.
100%. 100%. So, right, it's just me, guys. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, I think this is one of those things that every prep you're going to learn more of. I think a lot of people probably view me and Finn as way more seasoned than we are. We've done one prep each. And obviously, yeah, we've got people on stage. I'm starting my second prep, or I've started my second prep. Finn will be starting the second prep. But there's definitely a lot of like things that I've looked at from I did last time and thought, that probably wasn't as ideal as needed. So, for example, training and training volume and potential intensity. Obviously, I'm not going to be the kind of guy to drop down intensity unless it's needed. But I was 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, slapping walls, getting myself fucking amped up for a set of stiff leg deadlifts, which in all seriousness is going to do nothing from me from a stimulus standpoint. And if anything, just cause a stupid amount of fatigue, which is going to make my body more tired, me feel worse, look probably worse in the moment, and then maybe struggle to do my cardio at not the same kind of efficiency. So I think training manipulations in the last probably 4 to 6 weeks, I'm not going to actively want to get weaker, but I'm probably not going to logbook my sessions as serious as I would do, where everything has to be progressing. If I can take some maintenance reps and stuff like that, or maintenance sets, or just pull down volume when I know it's not going to be beneficial. I was still doing intensifiers up to a very close point of stepping on stage, and I was really, really lean, like 6 weeks out when I competed. So if anything, probably training manipulations, I definitely assess. I'd say exercise selection, I definitely assess. As well as setting up the foundations prior. Like I was doing a lot of free weight presses and free weight movements. Granted, that was due to lockdown. So it was where I built up my strength on movements that are going to cause a lot of fatigue and require a lot of stabilization. So making changes efficiently would have been something that I probably could have done to a greater standard. But obviously, prep would have been obviously impacted by the lockdown. And just in general, like for example, when it comes to my own sort of physique, my front is really, really lean, gets lean early. I have no issue at all getting my front in. My front was ready at 100 kilos for a first time competitor. Not many people are probably going to have that. Where my back, for example, caused a lot more grief. My lower back, especially, like my hamstrings, my glutes, my quads were peeled. My lower back was soft. So getting leaner earlier, that would be one thing. And then also, like from a fullness standpoint, I was almost a little bit timid to be like pushing the fullness. And in reality, that probably actually hurt my physique because I looked far better like a week afterwards when I was fuller and I still was peeled. So pushing fullness and not being scared to actually eat up into shows to a greater standard, especially when I was as conditioned as I was, where if anything, I could have been probably a kilo or two softer, maybe less sharp, but a lot fuller. So yeah, Finn, one of the things I said was about like getting myself amped up for fucking stiff leg deadlift sets 3 weeks out. Probably not the best idea. Probably should not do that.
Yeah, but
And
it's hard not to in it when that's what
yeah,
you enjoy. Like
yeah, that's
saying
the
that to
part.
clients, like you got to accept that your training isn't going to be the same right towards the end. Like, and as much as that is annoying, because again, like for most people anyway, like that's what you do it for. Yeah, you train because you want to train, and then you end up if you end up competing, it's because you love training. You've built a good physique for yourself. But yeah, like even with like pre-prep diets and stuff like that, like you will notice a difference. That's the whole point. Like that's why you want to try and make sure you're not dieting for the majority of the time. That's why you want to be in a surplus for the majority of the time. But yeah, what else did you say?
I mentioned,
Time frame.
yeah, no, I didn't touch upon time frame, but this prep's a lot shorter for me, so that's already starting off at a leaner set point.
I think
Be
obviously that's going to be. I wouldn't say like that's dependent on the person. Like if it's your first ever show, I'd have more time.
I said no. I said when you were walking downstairs, I think a lot of people view me and you as more seasoned than we are. We've done one prep each.
Yeah.
That's really not that long. And there's going to be things that we make mistakes upon this prep. 100%.
I do think though as well, like as much as we've done one prep ourselves, we've now done multiple preps with clients, like which you learn a lot from as well. Not obviously about yourself, but you still learn a lot in terms of what works best for most individuals, what doesn't. Even like things like knowing what different federations are looking for in terms of like their criteria or what they favor more, like things like that you learn just as you go. Obviously, and they change as well. Like year by year, you might think, oh, that's weird. Like last year, I think they'd have had him first, whereas this year they've got him first. Like things like that change. But yeah, like you learn so much from everyone. I think even if you've done in, let's say 5-10 years from now, we could have done like double figure preps. We could have had hundreds of clients on stage, like maybe more. You'll still be learning things. Like things change, new things come around, like new federations, will come up, and there's always new things to be learning. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that I guess we have the platform of the podcast and like social media and stuff to put out like our experiences and like education from our own preps and clients' preps. But for example, we could think something now, and in 5 years' time, we could be like, actually, that wasn't maybe the best decision, or we could have done that better or this better. Like, you're always going to be learning.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also said exercise selection. And if you heard that, you were coming up for like setting up and that is, if anything, in a pre-prep phase prior to that, like setting yourself up in all aspects. Like, for example, I was 124 kilos at my heaviest before surgery, so in May. Could I have started prep at that body weight? Yeah, definitely. But would I have had a lot of weight to shift off? Yeah. So what did I start prep at? Well, 118 kilos I started to pull back, and 112 kilos. I was 112 kilos for one day of my not the last prep, but like, let's say, the last prep prior to that point. So I'm technically similar sort of weight, but I've got a lot less body fat to pull off. So setting yourself up, and I think that's the one benefit of obviously working with a coach for a long time, if you're a client, or likewise when you're doing it yourself, is setting yourself up and having that sort of, it's not like foot on the gas when the prep starts. It should be prior. It should be all the work you've done in the off season, building yourself up to a point where, as we said all the time, you just move a bit more and you eat a bit less. And
I've been saying that to clients now. A couple of clients are sort of like, can we potentially like reduce expenditure so that I've got like more room for when the prep begins? And I've said like, well, if you enjoy the expenditure and you're already pretty much sort of settled into that routine of, let's say you do it, like, for example, I do it every day. I'm not going to change that so that I have more room to increase it for prep. Like if I need to increase it, then I can increase intensity. I can increase time. I could easily do some more at a different time of the day. But if anything, I'll probably keep it the same and be able to pull it down throughout the prep.
Yeah, exactly.
When I need to slow the rate of loss, like when do
you have more energy? Think about when you have more energy, when you have more fuel. You have more energy and fuel at the start when you have more body.
Same with like people sort of worry a little bit too much, in my opinion, about making too drastic changes at the start. It's like, if I drop my food, then I've got nowhere to go. It's like, well, you have, but like,
you can always have food.
But if you make a very small adjustment at the start, like, cool, you'll probably lose some body fat. If you make a big adjustment at the start, you'll lose more body fat. When's the best time to lose more body fat? When you're fatter at the beginning, when you've got more energy stored. So
I noticed this from like my pre-prep, like diet, pre-prep pullback, my tidy up in the summer. Like I got to 106 kilos and I was probably 4-5 kilos off being very, very, very lean. Like that would have been 100 kilos. I reckon I would have been bang on. Like I would have been similar condition to what I was on stage. And I felt pretty fucking sound. Like I felt good. My food was low, but I was very aggressive out the get-go. And I could start to notice maybe I remember saying to you, like, my sleep's getting affected. I'm feeling a few sort of dieting symptoms, but I feel sound. My training was really, really good. And I looked really good. And that was just being aggressive. And if anything, I actually just continued that routine. I was doing more cardio in my off season that's just gone than I was for probably 60 to 70% of my actual prep, like 2 years back. And that sounds pretty absurd to say that, but the only thing I've done in the last, let's say, starting prep now is just push cardio intensity up. My steps have stayed the same, my routine stayed the same, and if anything, it's easy. I remember like I'd go down to my exercise bike and I'd be like, oh god, I gotta do cardio, right? And then before you know it, if it's just part of your routine, you're like, cool, cardio, whack on a video, get back to
say so much of it is just routine. Like we even had the conversation where I think you were asking me, like, do you think it's worth pulling cardio down before prep, or I can't remember what you were asking me. And And I was like, well, no. I was like, you enjoy the routine, like just stick to your routine. I was like, what does it matter? And it's the same with me. Like, you could easily change, like, obviously you want to be on as much food as you can, like that makes more sense. But you could easily be like, oh, I'm going to pull down my cardio as low as I can, pull down my steps. But I'd just feel worse for it. Like, I'd feel like it's impacting my routine. I wouldn't feel as productive. Like, it just wouldn't be beneficial, like from more so like a mental standpoint. So it's like, well, if it's not going to be beneficial from a mental standpoint, it's going to cause more stress, then definitely don't do it. But yeah, I think the routine is that's the key. Like, whether you're doing one cardio session a week or 7, whether you're eating 3,000 calories or 1,500 calories, like if you don't have a routine and if you're not almost like on autopilot, and I was saying this, I can't remember who I was saying it to the other day as a client, but I was saying like you can't overthink in a prep. Like you need to assess how you're feeling, like definitely, and be able to sort of determine when you're maybe sort of overreaching, or that you're noticing sort of not just standard diet fatigue, but you're feeling like absolutely horrendous to the point where you probably need to pull back, or there's signs there that you need a diet break, or whatever it may be that you use as that tool. But if you're thinking every single day about how shit you feel, like you're going to feel horrendous. Yeah. You're going to feel so much worse than just being like, okay, I'm on prep. I understand that I'm not going to feel amazing.
Yeah, no, it's such a change of like, and then when it comes around to even post show, like if you've struggled and you grinded to get yourself into like doing cardio and doing steps, the second that post show period hits, she's just gonna not fucking move, and he's just gonna.
Oh, thank God, I'm done.
Yeah, thank God it's over. And like, if anything,
that's the time when you're not making that much progress. If anything, now it's just starting. Like,
yeah. So if you don't enjoy it and like you don't enjoy doing your cardio and you don't like, no one's going to be like, oh my God, yeah, at the back end of a prep, I love doing an hour's worth of cardio when I've got fuck all energy. But it is a case of understanding.
No, though, like,
I liked it. Yeah. I remember seeing you like you, and I just be like, I used to like clap or pat myself on the back, and it sounds weird. I wouldn't literally be like, oh, well done, Reece, but I've no right.
I think it's the same. I think it's like we've said before. It's having that mentality, like as cringy as it is, like you want to be that person that puts the work in, that does work the hardest, that doesn't miss a beat, like no stones unturned. Like that's how you want to be. Like I think you need to have that in you to do well in anything really, but especially in bodybuilding, because it is extreme, like especially towards the end of a prep. Like you have to have that in you. If you're constantly trying to find like the easy way out of like, how can I do less? Is there a way that I can make this a bit easier? Like you just won't get in shape. Like you have to have that in you where you're a bit sadistic, where you love that bit of suffering a little bit, but you have to control it, because if you then like, oh, I'm just going to do more and more and more, you just look worse. So it's like having to control it.
I remember if I was to like get my mum in here now and ask her, I go for walks when I was like 4 weeks out.
Get your mum in there now and get her on that bed like you usually do.
Mate, she's literally in the next room. Don't say that. So
she'll come in and go, why are you telling people about that? Told you not to tell anyone.
My mum would come in and be like, Finn, shut the fuck up. So she'd say, what the fuck are you saying, Finn? Be quiet. So no, if I was to get my mum in and say, right, well, how was I 4 weeks out? She'd be like, I can get you, like, oh, you wouldn't talk on walks, but like she'd ask me about changes, and I'd be so excited. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then she'd be like, she'd like, are you sure? Like, you're not gonna feel worse? And I'd be like, yeah, I feel fucked, but I'll be getting leaner. And like it'll be actually pushing me. And you have to have that weird side of you where you actually want to embrace the suck. You want to embrace that. And you want to actually, obviously it's going to be productive. You don't just want to be fucking ruining yourself. But if your natural inclination is, oh, it's hard, I'm going to stop. No surprise that so many people nowadays who are starting up trying to bodybuild and then they fall off and they stop. So yeah, no surprise. Right, do I leave it there? You go for a wee, mate. Good podcast. I'm enjoying it.
Been for a wee.
Oh, you've been for a wee, haven't you? Yeah, it's a jet lagged, bro. So right, we'll leave it there, mate. Unless there was one more that was good.
I've got 3 more. I've got 2 more.
Rapid fire. Go.
Would you rather eat ass or pineapple? Who do you think that's from?
Miles.
Yeah.
Ass 100%.
Pineapple hurts my stomach, so that's the only answer there.
Fair enough. And then what's the other one, mate?
Managing diet macros when away from home for someone who loses weight fast off plan. So basically somebody who will lose weight if they're not like tracking. What would you do?
Eat more. Eat a good amount of food.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. No, I just try and keep. I always say to clients, I try and keep the same structure. If you're eating 5 meals a day, try and eat 5 meals. If the availability to eat 5 meals isn't there, eat 4 bigger meals. Take a shake and take some protein sources with you. So you've got at least some protein that you could kind of accompany with maybe not this let's say clean food, but you can just have some food to the side. I'd say I'm similar. Like my weight doesn't fall off rapidly, but I can never get the same amount of calories in through crap foods because I don't get hungry if it's not my usual food. Like I wouldn't ever want to actively eat 5,000 calories worth of just shit food. So that's usually why I drop weight. But at the same time, like if you do drop a bit of weight, is it going to be muscle? No, it's not going to be muscle. It's going to be a bit of fullness, food volume, and just kind of water fluctuation. So if you do drop a few pounds, who cares? When you get back, just get back to usual diet, and that will kind of gain back within a few days. So just do what you can, keep some structure, make sure you're drinking plenty. That's probably going to be more important, I'd argue, than actual just food. And before you know it, you'll be back and you should be okay.
Yeah, I'd say as well, try and like just fuel your expenditure. So like base it off what you're kind of doing while you're away. So like if you're on a holiday where for example, like your steps are 20, 30,000, then you're going to be eating a lot more than if you're on a holiday where you're sat doing nothing by the pool.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Right, we'll leave it there. All good. Took a photo, mate, for the story. Thanks as always, guys, for listening. That's that. Back to it. Prep begins for me. 8 weeks for Finn, is it? 8 weeks, 9 weeks?
Well, yeah, potentially.
What do you mean potentially? You're gonna push it back, or
I might push it back. I'm just gonna keep seeing because I'm in a good spot at the minute. Like, and I just keep adding food, and my body weight isn't really going up.
Mate, if I'm honest, if you want my input, push it back till like next year or the year after.
Yeah, maybe I need a bit longer.
Your legs are wank, mate. Honestly, you need so much more muscle. Right. Thanks as always, guys. Catch you soon.